Let me get, let's see, hang on a second, folks. Screen captures, cameras, recording audio, backups. So far, so good. Let me see here. How are we looking? Can you see that, folks? Yeah, let me go like that. So you can see my, that's my inbox, right? You can see number 12, and then the video I posted this morning, but there's a video missing that I done last night, and I screen captured it. I couldn't download it. I get rid of that. Hang on. I couldn't download it, and I couldn't remix it. The remix button is under this one, and I'll go back and retroactive that. I'll get the links for all those things later today. It's Sunday, a lot of visitors today. I had to get up and find that video. It's still on the net, but it's not in my video. It's not in my. It's unbelievable. But we got all kinds of backups, and OCam, you can actually capture videos. It's really easy. I put a link under my last video on how to use it. It's really simple to use. It's a free program. You get that audio recording over there. And I posted that video this morning. I want to show you one more thing before I start here. Meet M-A-I-S-H-A Rawell. And this is a fascinating story. This site came out and started posting videos. And you'll see a lot of these videos are really long. And they done it in 44 minutes. There's about 100 videos. And a lot of these videos are 7 or 8 minutes. And they were posting those types of videos, 7 or 8 minute videos, per minute. So they must have 3 or 4 or 5 computers going at the one time. And that was right after the video I posted this morning, the screen captures of the 195 mile an hour typhoons that, I shouldn't be laughing because about 10,000 at least people are dead. And you can see that they came out for 44 minutes and they posted every one of these videos. And the name of that site is MAISHAROWEL. And they pushed me off all the pages. Now, I can't even leave a comment. Susan left a comment there this morning that she found it. That's from Before It's News. She had found it over in Wake Up America, Before It's News, rather. And she had found it over in Today's. And sure enough, there it was. It's still there. Just put in the same title as I got on my last video, and you'll find the original one. But it's not like you saw, like I showed you originally. It's not in my video, chummies. I can't download it. I can't do. Hi, Blasty Hippie. Good stuff. And rip this. And if I disappear, like jam it back out there. They can't censor all of us, but they can certainly censor me. It's pretty easy to censor one person, right? And it's terrible that I got to even ask people to do that. I'd never ever done that before. I'm just a blogger, right? And so I put it in my blogs. But that really offends me over the last 14 days, how many times I have disappeared from the search engine, how many... And then you look at the day 44 minutes later. Now, I follow, for the last 14 days, folks, I've been on Fukushima search nonstop. And to have Roswell come out with all these videos with all those tags and push everybody off the page, I hadn't seen that in 14 days. And it's ironic that it showed up then, and that's all the videos she posted. It posted. And that's incredible. You can't post 7, 8 minute videos, 8 or 9 a minute, unless you're using multiple computers. And so that was a concerted effort to knock, I would think, my video off the page, because drawing those parallels, Dutch Sync had put out a video where he showed Pulse were tapping the typhoon off the Philippines. I'm just heartbroken. I've been watching that with my friends all day, and I'm truly devastated. Yeah, Google how Europrop. I'm devastated watching what happened in the Philippines. That's a F4 tornado that was 100 miles wide, folks, and it's still battering its way over towards Vietnam. That entire province got flattened. The entire province. It's like British Columbia getting flattened, or New York City getting completely flattened. The storm surge was likened many times now to tsunami. And I watched the videos of it. It's running like the tsunami. Aceh's 2006 tsunami has been likened to it many times. It's utter devastation. I think the most heart-rending, heartbreaking thing I've ever seen was all those orphans in one of those videos crying, hanging on to each other. that people were gathering up and putting in the shelter. There's no shelter. All the windows are gone, the walls. The big apartment buildings knocked all the windows, all the frames out, and then the entire walls would vibrate like a guitar string. It hit shore at 195 and hammered away immediately with gust up to 235. And stories of parents having the children ripped out of their arms. And Dutch Singh putting out a video about the microwave pulse that he spotted, and it shows up in as all the signatures. Great detail. Scrambled Think sent me that one. I got a chance just before I came online. I've been, like I say, friends all day. We've been watching Heartbroken, the Philippines all day. Hi, Stephen. Yeah, hi, Jack. I'll get those links up. Won't be tonight. It's been a long day. Started off with a long morning trying to find my video, and then realizing it's still up there and it's not in my system. But I stuck it back up the way I did because I couldn't download it. And it was stalling as I was trying to download it, and so I went to another browser, and that's how come it's a little tiny bit jump in there. But I got it all there, I think. Fox has 1,200 data. I know, I just watched... I found a lot, because that's the way I work things. I found a lot of the feed that did get edited, live leak and stuff like this. Holy cow. Holy cow, you know. And my friends that have been here 40, 50 years, 60 years, have said a 100 mile an hour wind, there probably wouldn't be a house left in this city of 25,000, Dana. I said, yeah, I know. But it was interesting the way they said it to me. You can tell, right, that like it did to me. That's why I done the video last night. I only caught it like an hour before I went online. I called it a cyclone, did I? That's Southern Hemisphere. I smurfed that one up. That's what you do when you're trying to 14 days of banging your heads. It's going to be over 10,000 by far. It might be 20, 40, 50,000 yet. Nobody knows. You can't get in there. All the highways are, I mean, every foot of the highway is covered. I mean, the wind was full of 2x4. Imagine a 2x4 can go through a telephone pole at 120 miles an hour. What's it going to do at 195 miles an hour? All those buildings, that the reporters there that have been reporting on cyclones and typhoons all their life, they said it wasn't. It was a tornado. It picked up. It was full of debris. The wind was debris. The wind was alive with doors and hammers and you name it. Just it's unbelievable what it done down there. And I didn't mean to go down that road. But once again, another quick look at that. These are 11 and 12 minute videos, and there was 6, 7, 8, 9 a minute coming up on this site. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, when you catch the video later, you'll know when I put everything there, just so you can get an idea what's really going on out there, how fascinating that one is. But you didn't want no parallels done with the ocean heating up, like Miss Milky the Clown was saying last night. The ocean has heated up off Japan 3 degrees. That's enough to drive these typhoons alone. But that's because of all the radiation. The gamma and beta particles are heat. And let me go back and get off that and go back to the normal routine here. Hang on, okay. It's not going to be a long video night at all. It's been a long day for me, so. But I mean, I'm having my video out there, even if I got to do that crappy recording or that crappy camera and repost it. But there's something else going on. I mean, if Google was going to knock me off, they would have knocked that video down. That video still wouldn't be up there. You can find a link under my video that I put there this morning for people to go see if they can download it or remix it. And that was a little bit distressing that they would do something quite like that. We're seeing just the last 4 days in particular that every time I make a video, somehow or another it gets censored, it's missing out of the search engines, blah, blah, blah. And that just makes, yeah, it's sad. Europrop. What does YouTube watch mean, Zorro? You got to put some context there, man, when you put links. And that is a link you got there, right? You got everything in that little link, too. And so YouTube has changed, but it's not a hyperlink, but you can put the whole link there. You don't have to snap off the youtube.com part anymore. So that's kind of interesting. I see you were on that other video, Zorros. I don't know half stuff you're talking about there. You should do it when we're doing live so I can have a chat with you. But when you're doing it on the streams every time after, I don't know what the hell to say to you. Exploding electric fireball in Canada. Great. Is it on the West Coast? I got no idea. I don't. Has it got anything to do with this, Fukushima? Or is that just it? Well, you know, when you think about what we're looking at, is 974 days since Fukushima's hemorrhaging has begun, and it's hemorrhaging 3 million gallons a minute. By the experts' estimate, even though they're not coming out and saying those words, they tell you that the reactors needed 1 million gallons each a minute. That's what they used before they ruptured or left their containment and reached 9,000 degree Fahrenheit. And the backup plan was the ocean and rivers to come and land on top of it if it did go down through its containment. That's built into the engineering of all of these nuclear power plants. Is an ocean or a river will come in, and then that exchange will continue on because it has to. Otherwise, you have to evacuate most of that region minimum, and it'll hemorrhage out, and it'll be the most. Like CNN said, it was the second worst disaster a couple of days ago. That's a monster would say something like that, because obviously Chernobyl, one nuclear reactor melted down is not as bad as Fukushima with 3 nuclear reactors melted down, and then the hemorrhaging into the ocean. Chernobyl doesn't even have that, see? And so they're working hard to hide that from everybody, and which once again is an indication that I don't need to educate most people on, but it's an indication of how serious this actually is. When the media is going to come out and lie just constantly, because they can't hold it back. I mean, nuclear power is now officially finished. It's just a matter of time now. But as this comes out, people are going to strangle these people, I would imagine, because of all the lies they told and all the assertions they had made. And then you had that new movie on CNN the other night. It's on the video link. You just posted it. Well, that don't make no sense. Oh, it's running across the power line? Yeah, well, that's got nothing to do with Fukushima, man. Keep it to yourself, okay? We're here to talk about Fukushima. I couldn't care less about lightning bolts and shit down somewhere in Canada, okay? No offense, but I'm not here to talk about that stuff because I couldn't care less about it. We're talking about 3 million gallons of the most toxic shit on the planet that's going to hemorrhage out all these gamma rays and beta rays till the end of friggin' time. If Dennis piano player. Jesus, I'm stupid tonight. Can't even pronounce. This is bad, real bad. Google puss. Nice one, hippie. Good stuff. This is bad, real bad. You get people are still shopping here in the States. Yeah, you can't make that one up. Can't play your links, or don't encourage him, hippie. He's been doing that a lot for the last number of days. I don't know what the frick is going through his mind. Sober up before you come to my video, Sorrel. And that's what I mean, you know. Like, we want to have a debate, and then people are going to post that stuff, and it's got nothing to do with this, right? It's the utter distraction. I can't even keep up with it anymore. I don't even care to the extent anymore, but when it comes up live in front of me, I'm going to comment on it, obviously. But in order to moderate everything, you wear yourself down trying to keep up with it. And you need to, by rights, right? You need, you know, any kind of business would have had, I work for Google Plus Sucks. Jack, I've been watching a lot of the Ron Paul videos lately, and I really feel like he would have made a huge difference in the media's Fukushima cover-up, maybe. Who knows? No, I mean, they can't just come out and say it because they don't have the narrative. They come out and start saying, you know, it's all over, it's all gone, folks. Stick your head between your legs and cry. Then you can imagine the carnage will follow between that one, right? Just carnage. And so if you don't give people a hope, and you only give people that one narrative, which is what I've been seeing all along, and there's no hope there. And hope to me is, you look at the jet streams, look at the ocean currents, right? You've got to give people hope, because this destroys people. I've seen it myself, and that people had already heard about and asked me about it. And then I calm them down and explain to them, and you can just see them, like, literally, thank you, Dana. And that's embarrassing for me, but I get where they're coming from, right? I really, truly do. Because they don't think that way, and that's what I mean. The media won't, even if it does think that way, it's certainly not going to tell people. It doesn't, It's never. There's no proof the media has ever done anything for people on this planet at any given time. You can't go and find me anything to prove that they've done something. Never. Correct, and if it has radiation and air fallout in Canada, try to search. Zorro, why do you keep posting that stuff for me? Exploding electric fireballs in Canada? Hang on, buddy. I'll deal with it right quick here. Folks, so let me see. Yeah, there you go. Take care, Zorro. Here we go. Okay, let's go. Yeah, he's gone. Euro. It will be the end of the Northern Hemisphere. Not all of it, most of it. Yeah. About 84% of it will, well, like, it's like you can't get away from it. You can't escape it. You can't avoid it, right? Because you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't hear it, you can't feel it, you can't pick it up. And you need 1,300 Geiger counters. They're all calibrated to the specific isotopes. And you have to know how to use it. And some of them are extraordinarily expensive. And then you need an army. You need 1,300 people, 8-hour shifts, 3 times a day. You got to give them food, and it's a lot of. And then what are you going to do? You got to catch it when it's airborne on top of that. So yeah, we're in a lot of trouble, and we can't escape that. So we're trying to learn how to rationalize it and deal with it, and put pressure on Japan for doing what they're doing. And they're colluding with other governments. The other governments are well aware of it. What's going on here? All the governments are aware of it, and their families are aware of it. But they're not going to tell the population. It's just these inbreeds that have taken over everything. They know about it, make no mistake about it. All the wealthy people, they know about it, but they're not going to let it trickle down on us on purpose. And that's a problem, see? And that's why they're looting, these bubbles you see now. This has been going on for like 50 years, but this is the coup de grace against us. This was on purpose. I don't doubt that anymore. That they actually done this on purpose, set off that, that nothing surprises me now after hiding all that radiation and killing the Pacific Ocean and killing all the oxygen producing abilities of it, which is, the oceans produce half the oxygen on this planet, plants the other half. And so this also affects them, right, genetically. So it's not just the ocean, it's the entire coastlines and hundreds, if not thousands of miles in of all this radiation from rainstorms and other storms on the ocean, just from the troposphere, picking it up from the Pacific Ocean and dropping it over our continents, right? That's going to change the DNAs of the plants, and it's also going to contaminate it because a lot of it is extraordinarily toxic. Cesium, strontium, uraniums, and 1,300 unknowns that are classified, so you don't even know what those isotopes are because they're weaponized. Mox Fuel had the number 3 reactor. There's 3 reactors sitting on the bed rock, and the rivers is running over it. If that doesn't happen, the ocean has to come in and cover it up right away, or you can never get back on Fukushima because of all the heat that will dry out all the ground. And there is lots of fission on that site, okay? It's not just going to be right up straight from that hole. That's going to go off in different directions. We're talking about 9,000 degrees. That's a radiant heat. That's not like a little tiny, a campfire. If there's no wind, you can go to any side of that campfire and it's just brutal. The heat's the same, right? And so there's no way, even a 9,000 degree temperature, you can put that out in that typhoon last night and it still wouldn't cool it down, right? There still wouldn't be a safe side to walk towards because it's like, it's hotter than the surface of the sun. And so the rods that fall down on that are instantly atomized and straight back up. So you can imagine how a hot air balloon works, where they give it heat and the balloon rises up and they give it a bit more heat, just propane, right? And they do supplement it sometimes with injections of gasoline and oxygen and stuff like that to give a bigger blast of heat once the balloon is full. I know some of them have been doing that for a long time, but that kind of heat will, if it lifts up a balloon, right, you can imagine all these nanoparticles, once they shoot up and then all these typhoons that have been coming along, whisking it all over the place. And just a small, some of that stuff is so, there's like 1 million gamma particles per minute. off each one of these little particles. Imagine a storm picking that up and having hundreds of millions of these little gamma particles, or little particles all releasing millions of atoms of, like you say, a gram of strontium or cesium, I can't remember now, produces more atoms than all the grains of sands on the planet, because you just keep producing it, see? And for so long, right? And that's why they produce more nuclear atoms than all the grains of sand on the beach. Not like they just, there's all the atoms. No, it's because it's continuously out there. And we see this typhoon is picking up all kinds of debris, picking up, bricks and rocks and trees, and shredding buildings and turning that into projectiles that are carried for who knows hundreds of miles probably. And that it's just on. It's like an army running through there with chainsaws in one sense. There's one way to equate it, but a tornado typically wouldn't even come close to those speeds. Right, that's an F4 tornado, and it hit land. So, we have a changed world again. Now we have to worry about these supercells that eventually will hit shore in the next year or two at 300 miles an hour and 400 miles an hour. And if they're going to whack it with HARP or with pulse beams or something like that, which is what Dutch Sink is alluding to, and it's very credible what he's saying on top of that. And it's not like the military won't do stuff like that. It's not like they haven't been at that for many decades. It's not like these technology doesn't exist in other countries. It's not like we're fabricating anything at all. We're sticking to the game. And we're going to have a hell of a global warming. Yes, Steve. Like I said, I'll get those links in because that's such a great... that was Jacko, and also you mentioned, I know, but... Leo, we will have to learn to live with cancer. Right. And last night and the night before... And that's one of the reasons I was really upset was I posted that video back again today, because it had all that cancer stuff in it, and I don't... the video last night and the night before, I covered a lot of the cancer, and there was a lot of comments where people covered the cancers. And so the video last night won't have those comments, but there's a link under that video that I put up this morning, and that'll take you to the video for the night before. You can get to the comments, but I can't comment on my own videos. I can't reply to any messages or anything anymore. I was able to do it this morning on that other video, and then after that I seen Susan's comment there, and she said she found it, and I went to say thanks, and I couldn't comment. And Dimclad put out a video, and I tried to comment on that, and I couldn't comment, but I had all kinds of company. But sure enough, when everybody left a little while ago and I got everything sorted out, I tried again. I still can't comment. So that's a bit of an issue. And I went to Google Plus again today, and I got violently sick again. Unbelievable. Yes, and this time no Al Gore. Yeah. They should call the next typhoon Al Gore, the next supercell typhoon Al Gore. That's what I'm going to be calling it if it does a video about it. Supercell Al Gore destroys the Philippines. Because I think that's more appropriate because of all the lies. That's how they're disguising all the radiation over the years under the umbrella of global warming, right? That's a fact. And the picture that I got up on my site, by the way, today, folks, is a graveyard in Fukushima. And apparently it's a significant picture. A lot of people who have died at Fukushima are in that graveyard, and that's why I put that picture there tonight. I'm still rattled after watching so many videos last night, certainly, and then today. I caught pretty well everything that showed up out there of the Philippines. And once again, that was in Bohol, where they had the 7.2 earthquake, 100,000 houses destroyed, as if they haven't suffered enough. My goodness. It's just... It's the most heartbreaking thing I'll never get that out of my mind. I wasn't even there. I'm on the other side of the planet, But it just tore me apart too, to see all those people traumatized like that. That was... Let's move on. Only Fukushima news here lately was one big push for nuke power. Yeah, it's bad, but we'll need more argument. Make sure I catch up on any comments. I'm not going to last very long tonight. It was a pretty good little monologue we had there earlier. It's 23 minutes. Has anybody got anything they want to add to it? Like you say under my last video, there's instructions on how to use OCam, how to download it. It doesn't use up anything on your processing power. It's designed so you can watch a video and record it at the same time. It's really simple to use. Go up to the corners, you can drag the box and make it bigger or smaller. And when you click, now you might have a problem sometimes when you go full screen, getting it to close. You hold down on your control and then hold on the F2 or F3. One of those will disengage it and it'll come back to the screen. And it's ready to go again. It's not like once you record, you got to wait for it all to render and show up wherever you want. It'll ask you where you want it on your desktop. Is best what I always do. But it's a tiny program. It's really quick to download. You can actually do it when you're watching this video at the same time. Download it, install it, and use it, and it won't interfere. It's meant for that. It's meant as a tool for people to be able to go out and aggregate things and learn and utilize it that way for themselves. And I'm calling for people now to record my, even if you don't use it, just record the shows until I give it up. At some point I will give it up. They'll beat me, you know that. But I come out and put a beat on them anyway. I can't sustain what I'm doing now, obviously. Even though I'm passionate. It still feels like day one. But I realized that, you know, I'm just going to wear myself down at this rate doing this. But I will continue for quite a while, there's no doubt. They're not going to win that easy. And I just want to make sure the narrative goes out there and that we keep on top of whatever's going on and make sure there's always a bit of pressure on them. So there's a lot of people have already chosen that fight and that path, and rightly so, you know, because they understand the significance of it so well. And it's just to protect myself, because it's so easy to censor one person that it really struck me this morning when I seen that video is not in my, like at the beginning of this video where I showed everybody the computer screen, that video is not in my video files, and that the video I posted after, it's got like 340 views when I got that ready on my desktop, so that's been up for about 8 hours, 9 hours, and you can clearly see it's not there in my files. And so it's really, I've never seen nothing like that in 7 years on YouTube, and that's all I ever use is YouTube. And I got 70 videos on my site where I tore YouTube and Google apart because of the changes they made, see? And that should give me credibility when I say to you that I've never seen that before, because I do have 70 videos on my site where I ratted Google out every time they made a change, right? It used to be 123,000 pages, 20 videos in each page, a couple of million videos every 48 hours would refresh themselves automatically from 242 countries. And that meant that by the second, by the day, by the most comment, the most responded, you know, etc., 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 per country, you can find of the day the best videos and the most shared, the most conversations, the whole 9 yards. It was fascinating, and now there's just a handful of politicians, corporations, celebrities that they're and now it makes sense because you find out all the same ones on all the other social networking sites too. Yeah, have a good night, Jacko. Joshua, what we have is one messed up, and that's going to fix us just fine. We have just one messed up, and that is going to fix up us just fine after this. At some point they will clear nuclear material and outlaw. Yeah, hopefully. And Jerry Duggan, what will happen when all the nuclear power plants in the world go to meltdown? Well, the oceans and the rivers will fill it up, and then all that'll be polluted, and then every cloud on the planet will be a radioactive cloud with radioactive typhoons that are 300 and 400 and 500 miles per hour. Yeah? That's where we're headed for if we don't get our acts together and push back like we've never pushed back, like the planet depends upon it. This is global warming. You know, I was going to start this video off with, now remember folks to always recycle your tin cans and your pop bottles and your plastic. And don't worry about the Pacific Ocean. It'll be fine in a million years. But I forgot to do that, so there it is, a truth in there. Dominic, per no coverage during ROD procedures. What signs to look for if they screw up, which is likely? Well, that's a great question, and I'll finish up on that question tonight. Is that if those rods and they are brittle, we know the zirconium has already came off, and we know the pools went dry in Building 4, and that's why they had to flood it with water, and that's why they've done the things they do, and that's why they're doing the things they're doing now. That's why they're pouring water on it now. And so everybody, all the experts have said that. So I got that as a consensus from all the experts over the last couple of years. And what it means, I think, and what they say actually, is that the chimneys were broken, see? And so that's why it blew up. One of them blew up because the chimney was broken from there was 4 hydrogen explosions. You think one of them was a nuclear detonation. And because hundreds of tons of earth got lifted up and broke its back, and all the water poured out and dried up. And so that was the original thing. Now, to put it together for you, is that the chimneys are fixed. And so what they're going to do is they're going to have to abandon it if it starts releasing gases. But the chimneys they're hoping is going to vent it off, and there won't be another hydrogen explosion. And they're going to come back in and do more work. And so when they talk about the most dangerous, toxic environment you can imagine, that's why they're saying that, because they're going to have to go back in. Right? As long as the chimneys do their job and there's not an earthquake and snaps them again, so they can't vent. And they have to keep the weather out, and they have so many factors. We think there's a lot of damage there we don't know. Since the 7.2 earthquake on October the 25th, they had a 7.2 in the Philippines, in Bohol, same spot as ground zero last night for that super F4 tornado typhoon, 100-mile tornado, F4 tornado. That should be on Mars, not Earth, by the way, okay? There is no precedence for a 100-mile tornado on Earth. None of the reporters are calling it a typhoon anymore. They're calling it an F4 tornado, folks. Right? So let's keep it real. It's okay to use the old lingo, but this doesn't fit into that lingo. And if you go out and look at it, you'll find that's true. They had to create new scales for that tornado because you don't know what the hell is it. Well, not tornado, but well, it is tornado to us, but they call it an 8.1. There was only an 8, see, for when it comes to typhoons. Now they got an 8.1. That was they just threw that on there, I think. Not official, obviously, but the media did report that. Well, that's we don't know what's going on here 100%. The Pacific Ocean could be a weapon. They could be doing this as turn the Pacific Ocean into some kind of a space beam. Who bloody knows at this stage? And it wouldn't surprise me. A friend of mine said to me today that he was talking about that peer review study. I don't know what the hell was that. I got no idea. Oh man, my battery's gonna die. Forgot to plug it in. I thought that was a bit of a loud noise. It was going to end anyway. There you go. My apologies, folks. A long story short was, this is day 14 of internet blackout. It's martial law when every single day millions of Facebook, millions of Twitter, millions of Instagrams, millions of Vines, millions of email links are missing from the internet. If that happened in Canada, for 1 hour, the entire planet would report on it. And now for 14 days, Japan has been locked down. We know they had a 7.2 earthquake, which done damage for 300 or 400 miles. We know that Fukushima was the epicenter, and that Tokyo, the buildings rocked and people had to hold on a few hundred kilometers away. And that a 7.2 like Bohol on October the 15th, 2013, just 10 days before the Fukushima's earthquake, in Bohol, the 7.2 lifted up hundreds of millions of tons of earth, broke highways, buildings, knocked down 100,000 homes, but it never done no damage in Japan. And the proof is they blocked the internet, so you can't debunk it, see? And the big fear was some of these rods fell down into the bowels of hell and released death plumes back up on. And so we're assuming that every day another death plume is headed our way because we can't... you can go to bed. I'll go to bed when I feel like it, thanks. Joshua, I mentioned the blackout of Japan's social networking on other news articles. Euro, second account, Zoro. Nice second account. Well, that's okay. I'll hunt them down and move them. I got tired of all your links, Earl. Right? You've been doing this every time after I post a video. You show up on my account, you start posting all your stuff that's got nothing to do. That you're off in La La Land. I got tired of going and looking at it because it was a waste of my time. So, but if you're not going to give it up, then I got no choice because you're interrupting. See? Yeah. Take care, Euro. Stevie, thank you. Jack, oh, and even Zorro, have a nice night. And Francis, you have a nice night, bud. Hippie, and who else we got here? Anybody? Probably got them all. And good night to everybody that's watching. And remember, it's not doing this because it's fun. I'm not doing this for something to do. I'm doing this because somebody has to get out there and push back. And eventually there'll be enough people doing that. And there's not many, but there is some out there. But eventually enough people will be doing that and I won't have to do it no more. That I know for a fact. At some point, the speed will pick up and then I'll sit back and let all these other great people take the reins gladly. It's a job that I never wanted and I never want to remember, but I'll never forget because we got no choice. And we make our stands every day, and we remember that the future for us is looking at the jet streams, looking at the ocean currents, eating healthy, and moving on with our lives and accepting it for what it is and what we can't change, and hoping that we can bring some logic and some comfort to people out there so that they have another narrative instead of the fear-mongering machine that's out there hammering away, trying to take all hope away. We do the opposite. And the sound of water is a wonderful thing, even if it is just a doggy going at it. So have a nice night, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow night on day 15 of Hell on Earth. Take care.